Hi guys, welcome to a new episode. It's a blissful day. I know it's been a few crazy days in the past, but I think, and it seems like things are getting a little bit better. So let's keep that energy, and hopefully every day we'll be getting a little bit more better news. So now let's go back to the lessons and what's going on, and what I would love to focus on today is to expand a little bit what I've started yesterday. And we've talked about distractions and how do they affect us and what's going on. So I've been giving a lot of thought about to how to break it down, and I think I figured out a simple way to kind of talk about it today. But before we get into the specific ways, if you have not watched things about distractions, I would highly encourage you guys to go back to the previous video and watch it out, and then jump into this one. So we're going to start with a little quote. The results are the product of either personal focus or personal distractions. The choice is yours. John D. Lamb. It's true if you really think about it, right? So what can we do? What can we do to try to hopefully remove those distractions away from us and be able to focus on things we want to focus, that we know that are going to be working for us and serving us? For the first thing, what I would recommend is write things down. It's like, what are the one or two things that are important to you that you want to accomplish? Very simple. It's like, hey, today I want to accomplish this in the morning, or maybe a lot of times it's even better simply say write it the night before, have some kind of plan, but it's like prioritize two things that are very important that you know that need to get done. So do it. Number two, keep track of your time. Why is it important? It's important because times go by very, very quick. And I personally sometimes have to set a time limit for myself. And I know a lot of times I misjudge, but at least you're kind of on some kind of track. It's easy for us to kind of lose, especially right now working from home a lot. It's easier to lose track. As simple as that. The moment you have some kind of goal, then and as destination, it's easier for you to go and follow in that direction. So highly recommend to write it down and keep track of the time. And if you have to give yourself, well, estimate how long do you think it should take you, and try to stick to the schedule. 3, be present. And it sounds so simple, it's almost silly in a sense, but it's so true. And how do we practice being present? How do we not to try to think about other things when we're trying to read or get something done? Send an email that's kind of important, and the email comes in, or a phone starts ringing, and there's a doorbell and a package is being delivered, or somebody yells or screams, or dogs barking outside of the window. Sure, a lot of things can happen, but in order to start being present, and I've got this tip from a really cool monk, and he said something like this. It's like, we know that we are good if we keep practicing to doing something. So in order to being present, we have to start practicing. So imagine, what is the thing that you do a lot daily? For an example, you're in a relationship and you talk to your spouse daily. So, or maybe to your child. So commit every single time you talk to them, you are being present. You don't, swipe left and right with your, on your phone. You're not staring at a laptop. It's like, whenever you are talking to her, you are talking to her. Close the laptop, put the phone away, look at her or him, and make sure that your full attention is focused on them. So start practicing that. And that's how we start really being present. No distractions. Avoid any of those gadgets. Just make sure, and if you catch yourself just drifting, or and I think this practice goes the same thing what we do in yoga, right? You're trying to be on a mat, you're thinking about on a mat, what's going on with your breathing, and the same thing, practicing being there and giving your 100% attention to the given task, whatever the task might be. And 4 is kind of connected to 3, is I would highly recommend to learn to meditate. Meditation is basically being able to be aware of your breath all the time. And breath can get very deep, and it's eventually becoming one of the breath and go beyond. But the first step is to being always aware of your breath. That's as simple as I can say it. And it's important to keep it simple. Let's not complicate things. A lot of time people just try to get too deep, and it's like no, it's like everybody can meditate right now if they choose to. All you have to do is close your eyes and observe if you inhaling or exhaling, and that's all it is for at the beginning stage, and that's all you need to do. And you can do that, 5 times, 5 minutes a day. It's you have that. If you do not have 5 or 10 minutes a day for yourself, then obviously you don't have a life, or you choose not to have a life. So practice those, any of those, whatever kind of will suit you. I definitely am practicing. I think at least 2 or 3. I'm still getting better, but there's definitely hope of improving, and each of those elements can kind of personally will help me to get me to get a better place. So I hope that's a little bit helpful. If you enjoy it, comment below, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and have a fantastic the rest of the day, and be kind to yourself and to everybody else. And I have to say it, Black Lives Matter.